Please the gods forgive me, and also the students, all the attendants to the live class, they forgive me all, because today I haven't prepared the notebook for today. Yes, I'm sorry, guys. So I'm putting some incense so the gods will forgive me. And I hope that you all too will forgive me, because I couldn't manage and I couldn't prepare the lesson for today. It's my fault and I'm sorry. And I was tempted to just to cancel the live class, but I don't think that that would be fair for all of you that you are attending to the live class every week. So I decided that still, so you deserve first to be told face to face what happened. So no time to finish it. So the algorithms complicated a little bit, many other things get into the space, and finally I wasn't able to do it. And yeah, so almost there, but it's going to be ready for the next live class. So I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry, guys. Instead, I was thinking, what can we do instead? And then I think that what we can do today is to actually have a look at how you can develop faster by using the ROS Development Studio. So you have been using it for many weeks already, and then maybe you never thought about using it for your own purposes, not just by watching the live classes and practicing the live classes, but to create your own ROSjects. Or better than that, to look for other ROSjects that other people have been doing in the ROS development platform. You know that in the ROS Development Studio, you can search for other ROSjects, among other things, okay? So what I thought is that, okay, so let me try to compensate those guys that are attending here. So instead of providing one ROSject, I'm going to provide several ROSjects on different aspects. And for that, we are going to look inside the ROS Development Studio, see what we can find there, and how you can create your own ROSjects and share with other people, or use it for your lessons, for your classes, or for whatever you want, for your research, for your products, for your testing, etc. So now, with this introduction, so you already know what is going to happen today. So even if the title is for the live class of today is Make Cosmo Detect its cube and Move Towards it. So it's not going to be that. You are now in time to leave the class. On the part the people on the part of the back of the room, you can leave without making any noise. Nobody will notice. You can go now. And for the rest, for the ones that are still interested on this class, so let's go and let's start by having a look at how to use the ROS Development Studio, which are the different options that you have, and let's start getting some other ROSjects of somebody else has been doing. And I see before that, let me say hello to the people here that still here. I can see Jose Luis. Hello, Jose Luis. Junjuan, as always. Hello, Junjuan. I think that Junjuan is connecting from China directly through a VPN or something. Could it be? Or because in China, I think that there are some difficulties connecting to YouTube. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing. If you can share with the rest of the class, that would be interesting. Jaro Stanco, hello. Jaro Stanco. Sandra Rivera, hello. And Gianfranco Cirillo, who is always also here. And Junjuan is confirming that, yes, so he is connecting through a VPN to YouTube. And I'm very happy to have you here and every week. Okay, so if you're ready, let's go. So you have to follow what I'm doing, okay? And the same, we are going to do the same things. So we are going to open ROSjects, we are going to see different options. You have to do it at the same time. And if you get stuck, you don't understand something, use the chat on the live class that is beside the video that you are watching right now. Okay, guys? Okay, I'm sorry for that, for not going into the promised Cosmo. I will make my big effort to deliver that on the next live class for sure. And then you will be able to use Cosmo with the proper size and also using recognition algorithm to localize the pattern that is inside the cubes and move towards it. So that's for the next live class. Now let's go for this one. Then the first thing, let me share with you my screen so you can see what I am doing, and then try to do the same things. So if you are there at the ROS Development Studio, you should get, if you have done the login, then you should get a screen something like that. Okay, so I have customized a little bit with my picture, pretty nice picture of me. Yes, I know, I'm pretty there. It's very nice expression. I don't know from where is this expression there. That's funny expression. But anyway, so you can change all your settings here. And if you go to settings, you will see for your picture, your name, etc. That's not the important part of here. Just one thing, if you don't know how to get into this address, just open a new tab and then type rosds.online. And then by doing this, okay, in my case, I have already logged in a project. That's why it automatically brings me to this window. In your case, it will bring you to this window. Okay, but with your name and your configuration and your projects, the ROSjects. So let me close everything. So it depends on the ROSjects. We call ROSjects because they are ROS projects. Okay, so sometimes I'm saying just a project because I don't want to confuse you. But basically, those are ROSjects, and ROSjects are packages containing ROS code, simulations, data sets, and notebooks with instructions. So any ROSject can contain some of those elements or all of them or any combination. So it depends on you. So whenever you need to do a project in ROS that requires ROS, then you can use this here. You can create your one ROSject for that. If it's still, you need a simulation to train, to test, you can also use this to create a ROSject for that purpose. And if you want to provide this to somebody else, you want to share it, then you can include a notebook with instructions. And then if you want to also to use this ROSject for doing, for example, training with reinforcement learning, then maybe you will need a data set, or maybe with deep learning, sorry. Then you will need a data set with data. You can create the data here in the simulation and store here and share with other people, etc., etc. So that's a ROSject. And then the first thing that you need to know is that all your ROSjects will be here. And you can open at any point in time one ROSject just by clicking on it. For example, this is the one that I was preparing for the class 48. And then pressing open ROSject. That's that easy. Then it will open. Then all the things that you can do is to share. So if you want to share this with your colleagues or somebody else, or put it in a web page so everybody can click on the link and then get directly this ROSject, you can press this button here, share, and then you will get those links here. This is the screen for a private ROSject. So whenever you create a new ROSject, you can create private ROSjects or public ROSjects. Okay, so in principle, any ROSject that you create is private. But if you are a free user of the ROS Development Studio, you are limited to 3 free ROSjects. So how do you create a new ROSject? By clicking here. You click on this button, and then you create here your test ROSject, for example. And then we advise that you use and you put a thumbnail, so you can then later visually identify what is happening. So what is this ROSject about? Because sometimes we just with a name, it's a little bit difficult, and it's easier if you can do it with a picture. For example, in this case, I have selected a Cosmo Anki picture, and then here in the configuration, you can select the type of ROS and Gazebo or simulator that you are going to use. For if you click here, you will see here different types of combinations. For example, you can use ROS2 Crystal if you want to create a project for ROS2, or ROS Melodic Gazebo 9. And the typical one is ROS Kinetic Gazebo 7. So this is the main one, the current, more stable, the default one. But you can use any of the others as you want. Then the next thing that you need to select is if it is private or public. By default is public, but you can create it private. Then if you put private, it will not appear on the search of other people. But if you select public, then people can search for your ROSject. Here, we are going to see in a minute. Okay, so if we put it public, you will see, and then here a description. Then this is a test for LIVE-Class number 48. And then create. Okay, here we have, and that's a picture that I have selected. And how can I see this? This is the result. Okay, so and as you can see, those ROSjects, because they are shareable, you can allow people to put comment, provide you with issues, or else. So for example, comment. So I can say, I can ask a question. Hey, can I use it with my vector version of Cosmo? Okay, so that's a comment. Then it's going to appear here on the ROSject. And then you can keep commenting, and the owner, he can answer, will receive an email with the comments. So you can answer the people that is following you on this ROSject. And of course, you can create issues. And as a new issue is not working for Gazebo 7.1, I don't know, whatever. So you create a new issue here, not working with G9, with Gazebo 9. I tried with G9 and it doesn't load, for example. Then you have an issue. Then the person, the owner, in that case is me, I will be notified of this. Well, very good. So I'm here with the issues. I can go back to my ROSject here and see again, but I can also go to all my ROSjects. How do I do that? With this icon here, my ROSjects. So here I can go to the list of my all my ROSjects. I have many, yeah, because I'm using it. Actually, I never use it local installations of ROS anymore, because using it on the web is so convenient. It's so easy, really. I know that is the problem that we are doing, but it's the reality that it's a lot better to do it here on the web, because it's easier. I can use it in any computer. I don't have to care about installations or configuration. Anyway, here you have your list of your ROSjects. And it's quite nice. You can see the ones that are private have this label here, and the ones that are public do not have. Then, for example, now you can do one thing here, is to search for other ROSjects that other people has done. For example, you can come here now, click on the search bar. Let me go back here. Here. If you type here on the where it says at the top, it says type here to search, then you can look for your ROSjects and also all the ROSjects that are public at present at the ROS Development Studio. And I can tell you, there are about 2,500 ROSjects available from other people that they have done it. So if you click here, you will search for that. Let's try and search for my ROSject. You can do the test ROSject here. If you type test ROSject, then you should get, well, many people, many other, yeah, because the search is matching many other things, but you should get one that says test ROSject Ricardo Tellez. That's me. And then this one, if you press on this one, you should get to my page, the one that I've shown you, because this is a public ROSject, so you can get access. You cannot get access to all my other private ROSjects. So let me see if you are on the same page. If there is any questions, are you following? I'm drinking coffee. Yes? Okay, so I don't see any questions. I'm leaving a little bit more of time because sometimes there is a delay between everything. Okay, so no questions. Wait, great. Then, so that's one thing about searching for ROSjects for whatever the word that you would like. Let's search, for example, for PR2. And here PR2, if you know, it's a famous ROS robot. Actually, it's the most famous because it's the official robot that was used at the Willow Garage, the creators of ROS. Then here you can see that some projects here about using PR2 actually is the same one that is being copied by several people. Then the official one, I would say, is the one from the construct. So if you can press here, then you will get to this ROSject that we have created, the construct has created, and that it's about launching the PR2 robot. And what can you do? Well, you can do several things with this. First thing, you can open it. You can open it, but if you want to have this into your own area, you can, for example, copy this. Then if you clone it, then you will have a copy of this ROSject in your own ROSject list. So that's interesting because then you can modify. It's a copy. So it's a copy with which you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to copy and it's copied. So if I go to my ROSjects now, I see here, you see you get a copy of it. And another thing that you can do is to launch it, or you can also share. If you find this interesting, you can share this by clicking on this link here. And we have put it this very easy that you can share on different social networks, or you can just copy the link and put the link wherever, inside an email, inside a web page, or inside the documentation. And whoever who clicks on that link will automatically get a copy of this ROSject. Okay, so it will get the same code, the same notes, the same simulation, etc. Okay, so this is one thing, and another thing it's about. So we have now. I presume that you have copied this PR2 robot ROSject. We are going to open this in a minute, and before that, let me show you here about the public ROSjects list. So here on the left-hand side, you can see public ROSjects and my ROSjects. The public ones are the ones that are accessible to anyone. If you click on there, you will get a list of all the ROSjects that do exist that are public, and many, many things. Okay, so at the beginning, there are some ROSjects that we have done. We still have to figure out a way of better showing this information based on a ranking of whatever. So for example, if there is an image, so it's going to be shown before. If it's for the most stable release of ROS, then it's going to be more score and shown before. We are still working on that, but at present you can see all of them here, and then you can have a look at all of them and see which ones do you like the most. As you can see, there are 2,500, so you can stay here forever looking for it. You can click on any of those and get a description for which type of ROS is, and then copy to your area or share. If you want to do that, if you want to use it, for example. And what else? Yeah, so you will get a copy of that ROSject. It's in the same sense as if you clone Git on GitHub, for example. So it's the same sense. So you are cloning, it is getting your, is your code, is your own copy. So you can do whatever you want with it. Let me see if there is any question here. Okay, so Utabi says see Sinjor. I don't understand that, but I hope that is not a question. It's indicating that everything is working. Okay, so here I will leave for you to do all that and check which one do you like to do. You can move different pages and you will get different ROSjects. Here it appears the one that I have just created. That's nice. But let's go and let's open. First, let's open the test ROSject. So I hope that all of you have found my ROSject and then you have copied. Do you remember how to do it? You go here to the search. Well, you can do it directly from there also. You can do it from here, copy ROSject to my area, and that's all. Or you can do it by searching here, test ROSject. And then one of the results is this one here. And then you can, by pressing here, then make a copy, as I mentioned before. Okay, so what is interesting when you are searching also, that's interesting because, if, for example, if you select here, let's say PR2 again. Okay, so let's say, yeah, here, the one from the construct. Let's click on here. Then you get here the description of the ROSject, the image, etc. But here you get a link to the owner of this ROSject. And then it's interesting because if you click here, you can see which other ROSjects this owner has created. In our case, of course, we have created so many. And I think that there are more. Oh, yeah, but those are the public ones, yes. Okay, so those are the ones that are public from our side. And they are only those. So that's it. So you get from here by searching and then clicking on the link of the name of the user. Okay, so let's go and open the ROSject. So I'm going to my ROSject area. And then I'm going to open the test ROSject. Here, click and then open. And then if I open it, then it says restore the workspace. This means that if you have already been working before and you close the session and you want to get the same distribution of the windows that you had on the previous session, then you press yes. If not, then you press no, because you want to start from 0. And then when you start from 0, what it starts auto opens is the default page of the Jupyter notebook. And in this case, because it's a blank ROSject, it shows this notebook here that it's a default notebook that just says, hey, this is your simulation notebook. And then you can write here whatever you want. How do you write? Doing double click, and then you can change. So I can change this to this is my test ROSject notebook. And then you can press here to activate or shift enter also. So basically you can write here whatever you want. And this is meant to be as the documentation of your ROSject. If it is becoming a little bit complicated, I usually, okay, for the live classes, you already know that I put many details here with captures, etc. So that will be required if you are preparing, for example, a class or a very important project. But in most of the cases, the only thing that you need are the instructions for launching or some commands that could be interesting. So you can embed those here and create new cells. You can create new cells. For example, here I have just created one, and this is a new cell. Well, you have to play a little bit with it, with Jupyter Notebook. I'm sure many of you already know from other situations in life. So yeah, you have here everything. And as always, you can create more notebooks. You are not limited to this one only, to this one. And so how do you create new notebooks? Very simple. Go to File, and then New Notebook. That's it. And for now, it's only for Python 2, but that's it. Then, yeah, I'm going to get out. So now I have another notebook. And then by moving here, you can select open and see all the different files that I have created. So the default one is the one that we open. The untitled one is the one that we have just open. And then you can rename here. I don't remember exactly how to rename. Let me see. There was an option here to rename, but I don't remember. Where is it? Where is that option for renaming? It's running. No. Okay, it's just strange, but I don't remember renaming. Okay, well, if it is not possible here, no worries, because all those files, they are stored in the structure of a ROSject that we have created here. Let me show you where is it. So if you go to Tools, and then open the IDE, then you can, here on the IDE, you can see that any ROSject is divided in, it's containing all those directories here that you can see. The AI workspace, the Catkin workspace, dataset workspace, notebook workspace, and simulation workspace. So the files of the notebook are stored here in the notebook workspace. And here is this structure, the same one that you can see here. So at any point in time, you can change here by using the IDE, you can change the name. So my notebook, for example, and then it's going to be updated here if I do a refresh, my notebook, yeah. Okay, so, and you can add more files, you can add images, you can add videos, then show everything here on your notebook. And then you can store everything here on the workspace of the notebook. So you will get all this information there, packed, and without being colliding with other stuff. So very well structured. And what is this notebook workspace anyway? So what is? Well, that's a directory inside the user home in this Linux system that you are working here. So this environment is a Linux system. It's an Ubuntu 16, as you can see here. And it's on the user. You are the user. Your user is called user. And how can you see that? Well, very easy. Go to Tools and open a shell, a Linux shell. And here you will see that you are at home and your user is called user. So if you do a pwd command, you will see that you are located at the home user. Okay, so this is your home. And then if you do an ls, you will see all those directories that are stored here. So I'm telling you this just for the people who wants to know beneath what is working beneath. Well, that's a Linux system. We just have put it easier for everybody to access. And that's it. So you have here all the notebooks, and as always, you can use the typical Linux commands to get inside and get the files and delete them, etc. Or you can do it like here. Okay, what is interesting here is that any of those files, you can download them at your local machines at any point in time. So with the ROS Development Studio, you are not locked to the system. It's just a way to make it you feel easier to program ROS. That's the purpose, to make it easier, just that. But actually, you can go to the ROSjects that you have there and download them all to your local machine and never more use ROS Development Studio. If that works for you, we will be very happy that we help you in that sense. Okay, so we have been testing many things, and we know that it's not so easy to work with ROS and install and maintain the system. That's why we have created this tool. But at any point in time, just go to the directory or to the user itself and download everything by doing a right click and then download. That's it. You will get the files as they are. Then, so that's for the notebooks. Then, at the same sense, we have a directory for simulations. It's a ROS structure simulations for Gazebo simulations. So you should put your packages inside source. And then these will be built etc., etc. And as you know, probably. And this is the workspace for only the simulation. So you should put here only the code that is related to the simulator. So that's a code that is not going to be running inside the robot. And that also, again, makes very simple to have many different packages and not get confused with the ones that are for the real robot and then for the simulation. And then when you are working with real robots and simulations, then usually you get all those packages on the same workspace and many problems arise there. So put your simulations here and launch them. And one thing about the simulations is that at present, the ROS Development Studio already provides some simulations off the shelf. So if you want to use a robot of the ones that are here in this list with the already provided environment, then you don't need to create a simulation in order to start. For example, let's launch this one about the Sphero robot. The Sphero robot, do you know? It's a very funny robot. It's a spherical robot. And it's quite interesting that because this Sphero company was actually, they had as investors people from Disney. And then when they were preparing the new series of Star Wars with this spherical robot, the BB-8, then one of the directors of of Disney was viewing a presentation of those guys of Sphero, and then he was one of the few people that knew about the new robot, the new BB-8, but nobody else knew about it. So when he saw the presentation of the Sphero and that he knew about the BB-8, he said, wow, those guys are the guys who can do the robot that we are going to sell, about the BB-8 version of a toy for all the people. And that's what happened. So then the Sphero company was the one in charge to sell the robot, the BB-8 robot, that I don't know if you have seen it, but it's super cute. Well, anyway, stories apart. So here is the Sphero simulation. And then if that's okay for you, then you don't need to create any simulation, because you have many of those here. We have armed robots, several types of armed robots, hands, wheel robots, drones, many things. Have a look at this, okay? And then you just press there and launch. Then in case that you would like to use an already existing simulation, you can come here and then upload your packages. There is an option here. You can drag and drop directly, or the packages, or come here to file and then upload local files. Then you upload your packages, compile and launch, etc. Okay, great. Let me see if there is any question. Now, Utavi says, why does it give me restore workspace? Do you want to restore your previous workspace? And then Utavi says, you answered that already. Yes, okay. Great, Utavi, that you found the answer by yourself. Great. Okay, so that's it. Then what else about programs? Yeah. So here we have the Catkin workspace. In case that you would like to have create your own ROS packages, then you have to put here inside the ROS, the Catkin workspace source. Here you will create your packages, as we have been doing all the time in the live classes. Yes. And that's it. So what else I'm going to tell you? It's about the data sets. The data sets we have used it in some live classes, very few ones. The ones about domain randomization. Well, we're training deep learning algorithm for a fetch robot to identify objects. So we needed to create data sets. And that live class is a little bit tough because it's advanced. But basically how it works is that if you generate a data set here with a simulation, or you already have generated and want to store here with this ROSject, then you will put it here in the data set. Then once you have this, then you can attach that as you can create that as a data set. You can define that set of data as a data set that can be shared among different ROSjects inside the ROS Development Studio. So let me show you an example, okay? So in another project, in another ROSject, I created some data sets. And here I have an option that is called data sets. If I press here, then I'm going to attach one. I'm going to press here, attach. And what it says is, hey, you have those data sets already created in other ROSjects. And those are all the data sets that I have and their size. You can see some of them, they are just examples. No, sorry, that's not example. Here, random demo. Those are 8 gigabytes, 7 gigabytes are related to autonomous cars. Okay, but my testing data set. So I can press here and then indicate the folder to attach. For example, my ROSject data set. And then I do attach. Now it is attaching, so it's getting that data set that I created in other ROSjects and adding it here. As you can see, so it has been attached, it says, okay, great. And then I can now use that data in this new ROSject. So I don't have to create it again. Okay, so that's very convenient, you can see here. And also one interesting thing is that data sets are not saved with the ROSject directly, but they are saved as a data set available. Well, okay, so I'm not going to go deep into that because it's quite confusing, but basically what I would like to say is that once you create a data set, you can share with any other ROSject. And of course, you can download. Yeah, you press download and you get it into your local machine if you want, always. Then this is for a data set that has been created. If you need to create another one, just press create and same things will appear. If you want to, well, the name, the folder, a description, if you want to make it public, etc. Play a little bit with that. That's very interesting because I really believe that in the future, so data is super important for creating machine intelligence. And at present, we are kind of restricted to the data that we are generating in real life. And only the ones that have access to many, many data in the real life are the ones that are getting this advantage in machine learning, like let's say Google, Facebook, etc., all those companies. But I really believe that this is going to change by using simulations. If we use very good simulations, we'll be able to generate very good data sets, actually infinite data sets, as many as we want. So everybody will be able to get as many data as possible. And this is a small step towards that point. Okay, so what else? So yeah, we have about the gene computers. We have done some classes, live classes about gene computers, but I'm not going to talk because this is not available for the free users. All what I have explained now is available for free users, so you can use it. The gene computers, it's about launching computers in parallel with very powerful computers with many GPUs and CPUs, and so you can train your robots faster. Basically, that's the purpose. Have a look at the live classes. And here I have a new option that we are testing at present. It's still not available for everyone, but it's a real robot. And it's a very simple way of connecting the ROS Development Studio with the real robot. So by pressing here and connecting here to on, I'm not going to do it because I don't know what is going to happen. So still testing, okay? So it's going to connect to the real robot if you have one. So the program that you are running here, you can execute it here and the real robot will be executing it directly instead of executing here the simulation, the robot simulation. So let's say that I have a real Sphero and I have created my program here. Then I can launch the program, the simulation will execute it. Now I'm ready to test on the real robot. Then I press here, connect to the robot network. I press it, damn it. Damn it, I press it without noticing. Okay, then so it's going to try to connect. I don't have a Sphero here, but then it's quite a simple process. And well, now it has created the network, and then you have to add the device. Basically, it's telling him the one data from the robot that you need to do it. Well, we'll see that in other live classes. So let me switch it off. That's it, and that's it. Let me see if there is any question, and if not, we are going to launch some ROSjects. So here I see Sandra Rivera say, I get confused. The Gazebo project goes into simulation workspace, and those Gazebo ROS into Catkin workspace. Okay, Sandra, very good question. This is not very clear. I haven't explained very well. I understand. No, let me explain you. When you create a ROS program, basically, it's a set of ROS packages for your robot. Let's say that you have the real robot, okay? We are talking about the real robot. So those ROS packages for doing navigation, they have to go into the Catkin workspace because that's just ROS code for the robot, okay? Then now, let's say that you want to test this code previously of testing on the real robot, you want to test on the simulation. Then you have created your own robot, it's a flying robot, whatever. Then you have created that simulation of your flying robot. Then those packages that are Gazebo ROS related, but only the ones related to the simulation of your flying robot, they have to go to the simulation workspace. Okay, I hope that this is better explains. Let me tell you one thing. You don't have to be. What's the word? So don't feel any doubt. If you don't understand very well, you can mix packages or put everything inside the Catkin workspace. This is just a way of making it easier for not confusing the packages between the simulation and the real ROS code, real robot ROS code. But in case of doubt, just put everything here inside the Catkin workspace. Source, put it there. That's it. Okay, and as you try to do this a couple of times, you will see the difference. Oh, now I understand what Ricardo was saying, but he was explaining so badly that, damn it, Ricardo, you have to explain that to me in this way. Yeah, I understand, but I'm sorry for that. And yeah, I think that with a little bit more experience, you will understand my poor explanation. Okay. Then, yes, let me see if that more or less, no more questions. Then let's go and let's open some ROSject, interesting ROSject. For example, if you are in this screen, now you can go to the ROSjects by clicking on the link of the Manage Your ROSjects. And then I hope that you have already created the, so copied the PR2 ROSject, because we are going to launch it. Just before one thing, let me tell you that here we have added a couple more interesting things, is that this is a link to our online academy. So if you click on this, you will get directly to the Robot Ignite Academy, where you can learn more about ROS. So you get here many courses, also the live classes if you miss them, with the ROSjects and everything. We are courses for ROS, to how to create your own robot, many things. Everything is about ROS, okay? So that's that link here, ROS Learning Center. And then in case that you are a free user, you can get more free hours. Remember that as a free user, you only have 30 hours of usage, but you can get more free hours if you recommend some person. So if you recommend your friend here, and this friend enrolls also a free account, I mean, that doesn't have to, then you will get 10 more hours, and you can repeat this process up to 2 times. Okay, wait, yes, okay, no, and then let me go back. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. So we are here back again to our list of ROSjects, and now let's launch the PR2 robot. You press on the ROSject and then open it. And let me show you in the meantime that it's open. Well, it's going to take a few seconds only. Okay, let me drink a little bit of coffee. It's already cold. Yes. Okay, so we have here on the ROS PR2 robot, and as you see, the Jupyter Notebook by default is open. And here we have created in this ROSject just a small documentation, so you can launch the simulation and start a pick and place project with this. So that's an example of a ROSject that you can also create. Or you can use this for your own ROSjects, for your own projects. In order to launch it, it says that go to simulations and select launch file. Let's go to simulations and select launch file. But before I'm doing this, maybe now I can show you where the simulation is located. So if we go to tools and IDE, then you can see here that in this case, we have everything inside the PR2 simulation. Okay, so here we have inside the simulation workspace source, we have a directory that's called PR2, and then it contains the Gazebo, Grass, the PR2 description, and PR2 Move It. In my opinion, this PR2 Move It should be included into the Catkin workspace source, because this is not related to the simulation. This can be used with the simulation, but actually Move It is the program that allows you to plan trajectories with the arm of the robot. So this should be robot code, not simulation code. But anyway, as you can see in this ROSject, we have put everything inside the source, and it does work. Why it works? Because the system, when you launch anything, it is taking into account all the workspaces with ROS packages. So it's taking both Catkin workspace and simulation workspace at the same time. So actually it will work. Also, when you launch the simulation, as it is indicated here, go to simulation, select launch file. Let's do it. Go to simulation, select launch file. Then here we have to select the one that is called Pick and Place Project Mode. Pick and Place Project Mode, that is here. Too many ones there, okay? You have to understand. That is why the notebook is very interesting to understand what is happening. So now that we launch, when we launch, actually the system is compiling everything. So it's compiling the whole simulation workspace and the Catkin workspace. At this moment, this has been already compiled previously, so it's not going to compile anything more. But in case that you have done any modification here to the simulation, or you have included any other Catkin workspace ROS package, that command of launch would have compiled everything. So it's very convenient to launch everything from that menu there, because you forget many steps. In one single click, you get many steps. And here we have the robot that is moving, the PR2 simulation with some objects, and is going to try to identify them and then grasp them. So I will leave that for you for testing, but I hope that this is working for you also. If you have done the same steps, I mean, very simple, so it should work for you. And I don't remember exactly what do we have to do here, but just following the instructions here, you will get sorry, the demo of grasping. Okay, great. Then before we finish, let me tell you about another interesting ROSject. Is here on the I'm going to manage the ROSject, and then I would like you to search here for the rover. The rover, it's a simulation of the Mars rover that we have created. And here is my version, but please, if you find the one from the construct, then select that one. It's an open one, and then, well, it allows you to simulate this Mars rover, the Curiosity one. And it's very, very nice simulation. It's still in process. So many things need to be improved, but now it yet is working in many, many things. And you can do a lot of very interesting experiments with robotics. So make a copy of this. Click here on the copy. Yes. And then go to your area, My ROSjects, and then launch it. Click on it and launch it. In the meantime, let me check if there is any question. Sandra says, okay. And we got the system working. Okay. So let me know if you have questions, okay? Great. So in this case, we have this Mars rover simulation is the version 1 that we have created. And for launching the simulation, the same process is, in this case, is more explained. I don't remember why, but in this case, go to simulation, select launch file, then here open the drop-down menu and select the main simple. I think, don't remember. Let me check. Main simple, exactly. So it's shown here. So let's do it. Main simple and launch. Then by doing this, we'll get this simulation of this robot. And this robot is working, this main simple is working on an empty space. Okay, you can launch also the Mars space, but it will go a little bit slow with the free usage. So if you can have a high performance plan or other more expensive plans at the ROS Development Studio for going faster using GPUs or more computers, and then it will go faster. But as you can see here, it's moving already. It's been launched, the simulation, and it's moving the arm. It is good enough. You can test later about launching the Mars version. And what can you do with this robot? Well, you can telehelp it with this instruction here by doing tools, then shell. And now on this shell, we are going to launch that command that allows us to launch the rover. Yes, and now you can use the movements, the keys. I'm pressing the keys. You can increase the speed because it's going very slow. So if you increase the speed, it will go faster. You can turn, and then it's going to, as you can see, the wheels are being modeled for rotating in the way that it does in the real robot. There are many other things, like, for example, you can open the arm and the camera that is on top of the robot. And then afterwards that you can see the whole model on ROSDS if you follow the instructions and see the odometry and also capture what the camera is seeing. And as always, the code is here, so you can go to the IDE and download it there and do whatever you want if you don't want to use it here on the ROS Development Studio. And basically, I think that that's it for everything related to the ROS Development Studio. What I would suggest you is that you start experimenting, looking for the public ROSjects of somebody else, and try to make your own. And in case that you need some help on creating those, don't hesitate to send me an email, ask us questions. We have there also, there is an option for support. Use that option and we'll give you some support for creating your own ROSjects and start sharing those. That's it. So let me see if you have any question, any suggestion. For example, it could be improving this way. You should include this feature. You should remove this feature, for example. Anything that you are able to tell me, so I'm happy to hear. I'm here for the next minutes before we finish the class. So what can you say? In the meantime, coffee, even if it's cold. Let me see, no questions. Sandra Rivera says, thank you for the question before. Okay, So it looks like it's been understood very well. And here we have another question by Utavis that says, do you have any examples with robot web tools or any other web interface to ROS in the ROSDS? Would it be possible to launch a web server and functional ROS bridge in ROSDS? Well, actually, that's what is happening now. So what you see there is that there is a web interface to the ROS Development Studio. We are actually doing something similar like robot web tools. But I presume that your question goes directly if you can generate something there that somebody else can connect to that. Let me think. So we have the VPN, okay? The VPN, that's a direct connection, but with the VPN, for sure, you can use it. Let me show you. The VPN is another option that you have. I haven't shown you because too many options. I mean, it's not worth it. So let me share the screen again. And let me show you where is the VPN option. So let's say that you start a web server. So I'm going to go to my ROSject here, the one that I have already open. And here on tools, you can create a VPN with this computer and your local machine or your local network. If you press here, you will get some steps that you need. It's quite simple. I mean, too many commands here, but very, very simple, nothing fancy. And by doing this, you will connect directly to that computer. So then from the local machine, you will be able to use it. You will be able to see. Then for the thing that you mentioned about getting a connection from any other computer that is not on the VPN, I think that you can do it. If you do an if config, probably, but I don't know if this is this IP that you can see here is the one from, let me see. So here we have the interface. No, this one. I don't think that you can ping this one. I think that this is the internal one of the system. So you cannot ping it from the outside. So probably if you execute something web here, you will not be able to connect on your own. Yeah, unless you use the VPN. I think, but I'm not sure. It's a good question, Utavis. So it's a very good question. So let me think about it and see what we can do, because I see the opportunities there. I see the opportunities. Great. Any other question, guys? I'm still here. So were you able to find all those ROSjects? Which one did you select? Did you select the ones that I told you, or you start browsing by yourself any other? Because there was a huge list of other ROSjects there. Okay, Otavis will contact me by email. Great, Otavis. Would like to know about that. And then, yeah, so probably you didn't expect that you had so many ROSjects available at the ROS Development Studio. You were waiting only for the ones on the live classes. Yeah, so you can see that it's not necessary. You can start browsing around. And what would be more interesting is that you create your own ones, your ROSjects, and share them with us, with the rest of the community, if you want. I mean, if it's not something private or something like that, and then maybe we can improve them. For example, the Mars rover, the Curiosity rover that we have created, that one, it's open. So that's the first version that we have released, and we'll be happy to hear that somebody it's posting there some issues or doing a pull request. Oh, actually, I didn't show you how to use with the Git, because those simulations are Git synchronized. So you can actually do pull requests, but we'll see that in another live class. So Junjuan says, thank you. Thank you very much, Junjuan. See you on the next live class for sure with the Cosmo. Okay, promise. Then Utavi says, what about the main theme? Make Cosmo, the text is cubed. or miss something. Yes, Utavis, you were late, so I apologize for not delivering that one. It was my fault, and I didn't finish the whole code on time. I couldn't. And then it's going to be delivered next week. Okay, so for all of you who were late to the live class, it's going to be delivered on the next week. We are going to continue with the normal plan. So, sorry for that. Sorry for that. Gianfranco, okay, thank you very much, Gianfranco. Bye, and to all of you that are there, thank you very much. I apologize for not delivering that one. I hope that this one was less ROS-based, but something maybe like a tool that you can use. I have been showing you, and maybe you will improve faster. You will be able to create your ROS programs faster. I don't know. Try it. If not, I will be happy to hear your feedback and hear what do you think about. So see you on the next week. See you, Joan, Sandra Rivera. Sandra Rivera. She says, some suggestion for machine learning with ROS. Yes, so actually we have delivered several live classes for machine learning with ROS. Please check our channel with the name live classes then. So our channel is the Construct live channel, but look for live classes and you will see that there are some for TensorFlow. We have been doing reinforcement learning, many of them. We have been doing deep learning. We have doing domain randomization, everything with ROS. So have a look at that. And in case that you would like something else, give me an email, send me an email, put a comment beneath the videos. We are always checking the comments and answering them. So feel free. Thank you, guys. That's all. We are always late. I don't know how we do, but we always finish late. So thank you very much for attending today. And remember to keep pushing your ROS learning, guys. See you.